Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon session of our PFF Educational Symposium. This is a session on how the PFF can support patients with pulmonary fibrosis, and we'll be having just a lot of great information here. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping notes for you. If you have any technical issues, please click the green message support button on the lower right corner of your screen. And for any PFF related questions over today or tomorrow, please click on the help desk button on the menu ribbon at the top of your screen to connect with our PFF staff. And I should have said, I'm Amy Hajari Case. I'm a senior medical advisor at the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. My focus is on education and awareness, and I'll be helping to moderate this session today with your questions. Our speakers will be answering questions related to their talks at the end of the session. So throughout the session, I will invite you to submit your questions by clicking on the Q&A tab in the interaction panel to the right of the video player. And we'll answer as many questions as we can get to after their presentations are over. So I would like to welcome now today's speakers, Kelsey Overberg and Jennifer Simicadis. First, I'll introduce Kelsey. She is the Manager of Corporate Partnerships at the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. She graduated from Oklahoma City University, and she received their Bachelor's of Science in Dance Management, a minor in English. She then spent 8 years working as a paralegal for a plaintiff's firm in Chicago, specializing in asbestos litigation and related injury. And she joined the PFF in 2019, where she is now responsible for cultivating and maintaining relationships with external prospects and partners of the PFF. She oversees the PFF's Clinical Trials Education Center. You'll hear more about that today, including the Trial Finder and Drug Development Pipeline, sponsors and exhibitors of the biennial PFF Summit, and day-to-day partnership operations. Jen Simicadis is a senior coordinator of the PFF Help Center, and she responds to all telephone and email inquiries received at our Help Center. The number there, in case you have missed it, 844-825-5733, and you can email help@pulmonaryfibrosis.org. She provides reliable information about pulmonary fibrosis and assists members of the PF community in connecting with the range of programs, resources, and educational opportunities available through the PFF, and you'll hear so much more about those today. She's the perfect person to tell you about them. Jen also facilitates the PFF Voices and Caring Conversations telephone-based support groups. So now we'll hear from Kelsey and then Jen. Kelsey's going to talk about the ways that the PFF can help patients connect with clinical trials and research. And Jen's going to provide an overview of resources available through the PFF, including updated education materials and web resources. So without further ado, I will let you take it away, Kelsey. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey Overberg, and I'm the Manager of Corporate Partnerships at the PFF, as Amy stated. Since joining the PFF in 2019, it has been my pleasure to spend much of my time and effort on improving and expanding upon our clinical trials resources. The landscape of clinical research in pulmonary fibrosis and related conditions has grown significantly in recent years, making it all the more important that as many patients can participate. Today, I will briefly discuss recent updates to the PFF Clinical Trial Finder that we hope will make it easier than ever to find an opportunity that's right for you. Please note this medical disclaimer. In September of 2021, the PFF launched its new Clinical Trial Finder powered by CareBox. Today, I will discuss the following features: view studies, create an account, match and connect, and request help. While the view studies and match and connect features have been available for about the past year, creating an account and requesting help were just added 2 months ago. First, I would like to mention that the PFF Clinical Trial Finder includes a cultivated list of studies relevant to the PF community. Both interventional and observational studies are included. Studies must have at least one actively recruiting study site location within North America in order to be included. Information displayed within our Finder is sourced directly from clinicaltrials.gov, but it's presented in an easy to understand format. If you're interested in browsing trials within our Finder to get a general sense of studies that are currently taking place, click View Studies in the upper taskbar. On this page, you will have access to drop-downs and search fields, all of which you can use to narrow your results. While this tool can be interesting to review, I'm going to focus on other features that are going to provide you with more tailored results. The ability to create an account was recently added to our Finder, and it's the recommended first step when utilizing our platform. To create an account, click the Login button in the upper right-hand corner, and then create an account. On the following page, you'll enter your name and email address and click Create a Password. We strongly recommend selecting, apologies, I'm jumping around a little bit. We strongly recommend selecting Yes regarding receiving email notifications. This will allow you to receive automated emails when any new trials are added that match your questionnaire responses, which we'll go over here in a little bit. This is also going to allow you to receive relevant research updates from the PFF. When you've completed your form, just click Create Account. The following screen is going to confirm that you've successfully created your account. Please also select and check your inbox for a verification email. You're going to click Login on this page or anywhere else on the website in the upper right-hand corner. Now, anytime you're logged in, your name is going to appear in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on your name, you will see a drop-down option labeled My Account. This is where you can go to update your account information and any email preferences. Now that your account is set up, step 2 is to match and connect. You can complete your match questionnaire by clicking on Find a Match anywhere in the top bar of the website, or by clicking Match in the box on the landing page. Please note that you don't have to create an account in order to use the Match and Connect feature. However, if you set up an account, you'll be able to come back at any time and update your answers because it's going to save your responses. The match feature is going to compare your questionnaire responses with inclusion and exclusion criteria of any of the trials listed in our Finder in order to identify studies that would be best suited for you. Please note as stated here that having a study identified as a preliminary match doesn't necessarily mean that you can participate in that study. Only an approved study site location can make that determination and enroll you. After you click Continue, you'll be asked a short series of questions about yourself and your condition. You can also answer based on someone else, such as a loved one, or if you're a healthcare provider, you could respond on behalf of a patient. Simply answer all of the questions to the best of your ability. If you don't know an answer, you will have the option to select Not Sure. After answering the 7 questions, you'll be asked to enter your zip code or the zip code of the resident of the individual that you're completing the form for. This is going to sort your results so that you can see see studies that have a site closest to you first. Once you click Continue, you'll be able to see your results. On the results page, you will see a list of all studies within the PFF Clinical Trial Finder which match to your responses. Based on this example, there are 63 study matches out of a total of 98 studies within the Finder. If you want to change any of your answers at any point, click on Edit Your Questionnaire. If you created an account, you can come back and do this at any time. Depending on your responses to the questionnaire, you might still have a lot of studies to review, which could be daunting. The first step I recommend to narrow your results is to modify your maximum desired travel distance. You can do this by clicking the small green arrow to the right of your location, and then use the slider to reduce your travel distance accordingly. With this example, If I reduced the travel distance to within 50 miles of me, there are now 11 studies that remain. You can still further narrow your focus by using any of the drop-down filters you see here. As you scroll down within your results, you're going to see your preliminary matches sorted by those with the study site closest to you. It's also going to show you some basic information about each study. To learn more and see more details, you're going to click on the title of the study you're interested in. For this example, I'm going to click on the Precisions trial. After clicking on a study, you'll be able to review it in greater detail. You can also access the original listing on clinicaltrials.gov by clicking the NCT ID number located right below the title. Most importantly, as you scroll down, you'll see the study locations section. Here you will see a map with locations of study sites with the one closest to your location at the top. Within that box, you will find a trial contact name, phone number, email address, where you can use to reach out to get more information about screening and possible enrollment. If you've made it this far, you're well on your way to participating in research simply using these self-service tools. However, if at any point along the way you had a stumbling block or difficulty in any way with creating your account, or maybe you had trouble filling out your questionnaire, or you had difficulty getting in touch with a trial contact, we have yet another new feature to share with you. You can now request help directly from a CareBox clinical trial navigator. These individuals are specially trained in the use of this platform and are here to help you get connected to relevant clinical studies. To request help, you have two primary options. First, you can call 1-866-914-7346 to speak directly with a navigator. Both English and Spanish speakers are available. Navigators are online from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Your second option is to click Contact Us in the upper taskbar or Request a Consultation button wherever it's present on most pages throughout the Finder. If you choose to request a consultation, you will be asked to fill out a brief form with your contact information, contact method, and other preferences. After you click I accept, a CareBox navigator will contact you as requested within their designated work hours. The PFF is pleased and excited to share this new service with our community, as it is in line with our mission to accelerate the development of new treatments and ultimately a cure for pulmonary fibrosis. In conclusion, I would like to review the key points and takeaways regarding our updated PFF Clinical Trial Finder. First, create an account. This allows you to save information and receive automated updates on new trials that may be of interest to you. 2, complete your match questionnaire in order to get personalized recommendations on trials near you. 3, review your match list. Narrow your results by travel distance and any other important factors to you. You can right-click on the page to print your list and take it with you when you speak with your doctor, or show them your results on your mobile device at your next visit. You can also use the contact information provided on the study page to reach out directly to the closest site about possible enrollment. Finally, last but not least, request help if you need it at any step along the way. CareBox navigators are standing by to provide you with one-on-one assistance at no cost to you. I hope that you'll visit trials.pulmonaryfibrosis.org today to get started. And if you have any questions or comments, I ask that you please direct them to partnerships@pulmonaryfibrosis.org. Or if you have questions right now, please put them in the Q&A box as Amy described at the beginning, and we'll be happy to answer them at the end of the session. For now, thank you, and I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Jen.
Great, thank you, Kelsey. I'm Jennifer Sumakaitis, and I am the coordinator in the PFF Help Center. And I as Amy mentioned earlier on, I am sort of the front door to the organization. I help callers and those who email access all of the supports and resources that are available to the community. And this is our mission statement. I like to put this front and center because our mission statement drives all of the programs that we create and the services that we offer for the community. And this is just a quick overview of the programs and some of the services and items that I'll be touching on today. I'm just letting you know that I cannot access my notes for this, so I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, so we'll do our best. I'm pretty used to this stuff and do it every day, so. Okay, so this is just a little information about the PFF Health Center. As I mentioned, we provide assistance to members of the community, healthcare providers, and anyone who is interested in accessing our programs, information, and resources. And here's our contact information. You can reach us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Central Time via the phone number on the screen or at the email address here as well. This information is also located everywhere on our website, and I'll provide it again at the end of the presentation. So most of the information that community members like yourselves would access most often is available at the patients and caregivers and the Understanding PF tabs on the homepage of our website. I did want to mention, excuse me, that this is what I'm showing you is what you would see on a computer. I know that a lot of you also access our website via a mobile device. So on a tablet or an iPhone or a phone, the menu appears in the upper left corner of your screen. And so these tabs and options are all available through that menu, and that's how you would access these. So I also like to use the website just when I am working through an overview like this, because this, by giving you the information this way, my hope is that you'll sort of remember where to find things so that when you go looking for information in the future, you'll know where to find it on our website. So the Understanding PF tab is where you're going to find reliable information about pulmonary fibrosis. So here you can learn about PF, you can get a great disease overview, information about diagnosis and treatment options, and also learn a little bit about the various different types of pulmonary fibrosis. And then at the Patients and Caregivers tab, you'll find all of our sort of wraparound resources for the community. So here you can find our search tool to locate our care center network medical centers or a support group. You can access our pulmonary rehabilitation toolkit and our clinical trials education center, and also all of our educational resources. So our printed materials, our fact sheets, our webinars, any of the resources that we provide to inform the community and help them learn more about pulmonary fibrosis. And the Researchers and Healthcare Providers tab on our site is a place that just gathers all of the information together for healthcare providers and investigators that might come to our site looking for information. So there's information here about our educational materials, our continuing ed resources, information about the PFF registry and our other research, or the research funds, and then information also about the Care Center Network. So that would be the landing spot if you are a researcher or a healthcare provider. And then at the Get Involved tab, this is where you can find out how to become more engaged with the foundation, either via participation or by providing financial support to forward our mission. So at this tab, you can find information about all of our events that are happening throughout the year. You can learn how to become a PFF ambassador or a PFF advocate. You can learn about Pulmonary Fibrosis Awareness Month. There's also a link here to join the PFF registry. And also to get your swag, you can click on the Shop PFF link there and get yourself a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or a coffee mug. But essentially all of the ways to get involved are here. And I know I'm speaking to a group of people who are already involved with our organization. So just a shout out to all of you for everything you're already doing for the organization. Oh, and I also wanted to highlight this attend an event link. There you can locate you'll find our events calendar. So if you're looking for a support group meeting, a PFF event, a local education conference, we do try to post as much information about events around the country and that we're sponsoring at that calendar. So that's a great resource to remember. And then at the About Us tab, this is just basic information about the organization. So our leadership and our mission, an overview of our different programs and media resources are here. And also one thing that I do like to highlight is there is a link to an online version of our Breathe Bulletin. So most of you probably already get a printed copy of the Breathe Bulletin, but if you wanted to access it online, you would do that at the About Us tab. Okay, and this I'm going to share with you here a little known fact about our website, and that is that you can translate the website into a variety of different languages. So there's a little animation here that's going to show you what that looks like. You just click that little blue icon at the bottom of the screen. It'll pop you up a list. You can select your language, and then that will translate the page that you're on and all of the subsequent pages that you navigate to another language. And you can see here, I did it in Chinese because it's easy to tell that that's a different language. So that's what that looks like. And this is also a great way if you encounter someone who is not a native English speaker. Sometimes when there's more sophisticated information like medical information, it's great to be able to let them know about that translate option so that they can also have access to reliable information about pulmonary fibrosis. And so one of the things that the PFF does very well and that we're all rather proud of is that we provide reliable, high quality disease education materials. So here's just a selection of some of our materials here. We've got information on oxygen, lung transplantation, telemedicine, and clinical trials. And then we also provide materials for healthcare providers as well, so that nurses and allied health professionals can also have access to good, high quality disease information for the PF patients that they care for. So we also produce a series of PFF fact sheets. So these are brief documents, just a front and back page, and they offer a concise overview of different types of interstitial lung disease, as well as some of the medications that are commonly used by patients who are living with pulmonary fibrosis. Right now, there are 13 PFF fact sheets in our series, and we are currently working on a handful of new topics, so we will be adding to the series very soon. So our disease educational materials are available in a variety of languages so that more people who are living with PF have access to reliable and high quality disease information. So our pulmonary fibrosis information guide is available in English plus 6 other languages that are noted there. And also, almost all of our materials are available in Spanish so that the Spanish-speaking members of our community have broad access to those materials. And you can download electronic copies of any of our materials from the educational materials page of our site, which is available at both the Patients and Caregivers tab and also at the Researchers and Healthcare Providers tab for the HCPs in the audience. So when you're on this page, you'll notice where the arrow is, that there's that little caret arrow. So for any of the materials that you're interested in seeing copies of, you'd want to click that little arrow on the right-hand side to expand that selection, and then that will show you the different options that piece is available. And so, for instance, for the pulmonary fibrosis information guide, you would see that digital versions in those 7 languages. And then also this year, we produced Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation disease education and patient stories. This DVD includes a selection of 23 videos that feature documentary style profiles of patients in our community, and also some short videos that provide a variety of different types of educational content. You can contact the PFF Help Center to receive your complimentary copy. And also, if you are a support group leader in the audience and you would like to share copies of this DVD with your support group, do also contact the Help Center and we can help you place an order so that you can share these with your group. And so we also host monthly webinars on different topics related to PF through the Disease Education Webinar Series. These webinars are hosted by medical professionals on topics, again, related to PF, patient care, and living better with this disease. The PFF webinar library, which you can find at the Patients and Caregivers tab, which is circled there in the image. By clicking that tab, you can go to our archive and find and stream previous presentations. And also, if we have an upcoming presentation that is open for registration, you'll also find that on this page as well. And the PFF YouTube channel is also a great place to find all of the PFF's educational content. The web address is there, and if you download the slides, that should be a clickable link so that you can access it directly from the slide deck. So all of our webinar series presentations can be found here, as well as our presentations from previous PFF Summit conferences, and those are organized by year, as well as some of our short videos and also community videos, so videos from our walks and other events as well. So the Pulmonary Rehabilitation Toolkit is something that we devised in collaboration with the American Association of Cardiovascular and Pulmonary Rehabilitation to provide an option during the pandemic for people who wanted to access a pulmonary rehab program, but were unable to because many programs were closed to keep patients safe during the pandemic. So this kit is available on our website at the Patients and Caregivers tab. And I'm going to flip to the next slide here where you can see, so here's an example of one of the exercise videos from the toolkit. The series includes 8 modules that provide both video content as well as some downloadable tracking guides and forms that you can use to track your progress. And there are also some items to read on there as well. And as we always say, it's great and easy to access this program, but whenever you're adding or would like to add something to your care plan, it's really important that you speak with your physician to make sure that the content is safe and appropriate for you. So we did hear from Jessica Shore this morning a little bit about the PFF Care Center Network, but I do always like to include a slide because it's an important part of what we do. This group of 74 medical centers across the country are dedicated to improving the lives of people who are living with pulmonary fibrosis. So some of the important things about our CCNs is that they deliver expert, comprehensive patient care. They take a multidisciplinary approach to diagnosing and treating PF patients. They also engage in research to help move care and treatments along. And then they collaborate with us to share educational materials and to engage the community that they're a part of in PFF programs. And I think this was a question from the presentation this morning: how do I find a PFF Care Center Network site? So using the tool at the Patients and Caregivers tab, it's the Find Medical Care tool, and you can drop your zip code into the search bar here or use your current location to see if there are centers near you. The results that you're given will return your top 10 results, and those are prioritized by location, so your closest site will be first on the list. And just a little note here that you can see right above that search box, there are a couple check boxes. So you can search for both support groups and CCN sites using this tool. If you don't want to see the support groups or to make your list shorter, you can uncheck the support group box to only see those medical centers. Oh, and then also noted here with the little circle in the lower left corner, when you find a location that you're interested in learning more about, if you click the See Details link in that particular site's result, that will take you to that site's page on our website, where you'll find more detailed information about the site. The Care Center Network director and other staff are listed there as well. So the PFF Support Group Network is just an incredible resource for patients, caregivers, family members, and friends. Support groups, as you know, are an important and valuable source of encouragement and information for people who are living with PF. And so many of you here today are support group leaders. So shout out to you for leading those groups, because this is really a lifeline for many people that are living with this disease. PFF support group leaders, as many of you know, receive training materials, resources, and ongoing support from the PFF. So we hold quarterly support group leader network teleconferences that offer these leaders an opportunity to exchange ideas and best practices and to stay in touch with what's going on at the PFF. And then we also have our Leanne Storch Support Group Fund, which provides a grant to a support group leader to help assist with some of the administrative costs of running their support group. And then the same way that you searched for PFF Care Center Network locations, you can also search for support groups using that same search tool. Just uncheck the Care Center box there at the top to only see support groups. And again, don't forget to click that See Details link to get a little more information about the group's meeting times, whether or not they're offering virtual meetings, and just some other detailed information. And then the PFF also moderates 4 support groups from the foundation. These groups all meet at 1 o'clock Central Time on their given day, and you can find a link to join these groups on the Find a Support Group page on our website. So that page you can find at the Patients and Caregivers tab. There's a link to Find a Support Group, which also includes that search tool. So you'll want to scroll way down to the section that says Support Groups on Zoom, and you should see a button down at that part of the down in that part of the page. Just navigate to that page right before the meeting at the given time, and just click that link to access the meeting directly. So the 4 groups that we moderate are PFF Voices, which is a general group that welcomes all members of the PF community. Caring Conversations is a group that is specifically for caregivers. PFF Colloquio is a group for the Spanish speakers in our community, and the Lung Transplant Community Support Group is for those who are interested in, are awaiting, or have had lung transplant due to pulmonary fibrosis. And there is that Find a Support Group page link there. So if you download the slide deck, you can click straight through to find that information. Then we also have our PFF Ambassador Program, and I know a number of you ambassadors are joining us today as well. Our ambassadors are chosen specifically for their experience with the disease, and they do attend meetings and appearances both virtually and now in person again at various locations in the country to offer hope and inspiration to the community and to talk about their experiences, help educate people about PF, and promote disease awareness. Our ambassadors undergo training, and they do speak at all the events I mentioned, as well as support groups, fundraisers, and other opportunities. Our ambassadors also work internally with us and provide assistance with some of our committee work, and they also help us sometimes with special projects. So thanks to all you ambassadors who are out there too. And then Janelle Speller spoke earlier today about the PFF registry, so I won't spend too much time on that here, but the registry is our own observational PF study. If you haven't yet enrolled in the PFF community registry, we hope that you will do so. You can find a link to join on our website homepage in the upper right corner. And then every year, we do produce an annual report about the PFF registry. So this is a slick publication that provides some information about the status of the registry. It'll talk a little bit about changes that have been made over the course of the year, provide information about some studies that are using registry data, and just provide any news or other updates about the registry. And then we have the PFF Summit, which is a larger and more expansive version of what you're attending today, the PFF Education Symposium. The summit provides just an incredibly valuable opportunity for patients and caregivers to come together with physicians, researchers, and industry representatives to all just share information and experiences and learn about pulmonary fibrosis. Any of you, and I'm sure there are a good many of you who've been with us for a while, who've attended a summit either in person or virtually, you know what a powerful and meaningful experience it can be to attend a summit. So our next summit will be held in November 2023 in Orlando, Florida. And our plans are to be meeting in person with a virtual component. The week of November 6th is when the conference will be held. We don't have exact dates at this time, but you can mark your calendars now so that you'll be ready to register when registration becomes available next year. And then also, you can also access presentations from any of our prior conferences on our YouTube channel. If you go to the playlists section on that channel and click that tab, there is a separate playlist for each year of the summit. So you can access those presentations by year that way. And then the PFF Insights blog was created to just address current topics in PF. So during the COVID pandemic, we definitely had some posts there about staying safe, about COVID vaccines. We have since provided some posts on research, highlighting different healthcare providers. And there's just a lot of great topics there. So you can check that out. And that is also found at the Patients and Caregivers tab on our website. And if you're not receiving our monthly e-newsletter, I can't imagine you wouldn't be, since you're all some of our inner circle here, but do sign up to receive our emails so that you can stay in the loop. You can learn about when our webinars are happening. We have a clinical trials newsletter that we send on a monthly basis, and you could just get alerts and stay in the loop about everything that's going on. So you can find this little green sign up now button at the bottom of any page of our website. And you can just click that button and fill out the short form, and then we'll start sending our newsletter to you. Oh, and there you go. There's the little arrow. And so our Breathe Bulletin magazine comes out twice a year. This provides feature stories and information about what's going on at the PFF. If you're not receiving that magazine and you'd like to receive a printed copy, you can contact the PFF Help Center and we can set you up with that. You can also access the digital copy online at the About Us tab. These are our social media platforms. You can find us on any of these platforms by searching at PFF.org. And then finally, I just wanted to also highlight our Clinical Trials Education Center. Kelsey provided you some detailed information about that, but that's found at the Patients and Caregivers tab. You can learn about clinical research here, link to the clinical trial finder, and also access the drug development pipeline to learn more about some of the current clinical studies in PFF treatments. And then again, a reminder that the PFF Help Center is here to help you access any of the information and any of the resources that I highlighted in this talk. If you remember anything from this presentation today, do remember that you just contact the Help Center and we can help you access any of this information. So thank you so much for your attention, and I will finish up and we can take some questions.
Hi. Okay. Well, thank you, Kelsey and Jen. Those are great overviews of the different resources and programs that we have available to our community. And we have a lot of questions, but before we get started in answering those, I just want to remind folks that if you do have questions, you can go to the Q&A tab in the interaction panel to the right of your video screen, and we'll try to get to those. So hit us up there now. The first question I have is, I've been writing some of these down, on the clinical trials. This is a question for Kelsey. How can I enroll in a clinical trial if there aren't any at my medical center?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that first step is to verify, maybe you don't have a clinical trial at your exact medical center, but there could be a site location that's still really close to you that offers a clinical trial. And that's one of the things that the Finder resource is really great at identifying. So if you go to the clinical trial finder, fill out your questionnaire, you'll get your matched list and be able to search by your location. And, there's a good chance that you'll find at least one or two that are within a reasonable distance of you. If that still isn't sufficient, you're still not finding anything that's close enough, there are studies that are opening now that are either observational, so maybe it's like the registry where it's all online, so you don't actually have to go into a physical site and you can participate from wherever you are. Decentralized studies are something that have been a thing for a while, but it's one of the things that the COVID pandemic actually kind of amplified and made a bigger priority to make it easier to access clinical research from wherever you are without having to go into a site. And those studies, like I said, are also going to be listed and available in our Finder. We're actually working on some developments, some advancements to the Finder that'll make it easier to identify which trials fall into that category, since it is a newer thing that hasn't always been available. We don't currently have kind of a way of designating which trials are falling into that category, but stay tuned. We're hoping to make that easier to find in the near future.
Great. Thank you. And actually, I have a quick follow-up question on that. Do you know what is the when you register on the clinical trial finder and you put in your zip code, what is the default radius that comes up when it shows you the results?
Yeah, the default radius is everywhere. So the default radius, when you do your questionnaire and get your match list, it's going to show you every trial within our Finder, which is within North America. So every trial that you match to within North America is going to show up in your list. So in that example, that meant there were 68 studies within the entire continent that I matched to. So obviously some of those studies would be way too far for me to participate in. So definitely narrow that field right away so that you're not, you can get rid of some of those studies that are a definitive no due to that distance.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so question about support groups. I'm a little far away from some of the support groups, like the local support groups. Can I join is it okay for me to join a support group that maybe is meeting virtually, but is kind of like far away from me? Like, I'm here, I'm in Georgia, it's in California. Is it okay if I join that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's definitely something that has come up, especially since, a lot of groups weren't meeting during the pandemic and folks didn't have an access to their regular meeting. So we have been encouraging folks to join a support group nearby. You do have those virtual groups through the PFF that you're always welcome to join. But sometimes it's nice to have more than one opportunity over the course of a month to receive support. So I think what it would be a great idea to do is, before you join a group, you might want to just reach out to that support group leader through the information on our site, just to find out the status of their meetings. We do communicate with our group leaders all the time and do our best to always know, on any given day, what a group's status is. But with over 150 groups, there's always a little room for error. So we just want to make sure that when you are making a decision to join a group, it's great to just contact that group leader ahead of time. And then you can find out a little bit too about the personality of the group and just find out, if it's a larger group or a smaller group, and that might help to tell you too if it's something that's right for you. Great
answer. This is another about educational resources. I'm looking on the website and I see some stuff, but I don't see something like right away for the specific thing that my doctor says that I'm dealing with. Where should I look? And am I missing something? And do you have resources for other diagnoses? That's kind of a broad question, but it is really hard sometimes when we're dealing with something that's got a lot of specific details and diagnoses to it to find really exactly what you're looking for.
And I would suggest too that our website is just chock full of information. And we, when we designed the website, we did our best to, follow some logic and, sort of create links that can kind of guide you through information. But sometimes you might go down a path that is not heading you in the right direction. So if you ever have questions like that, that's when we encourage you to contact the PFF Help Center. From 9 to 5 Central Time, Monday through Friday, you can reach myself or another PFF staff member. And we can kind of give you the shortest distance between 2 points to find that information. So call us on the phone, or if it's after hours, I always say, if you've got a burning question and it's 10 o'clock, you can shoot us an email and get that off your chest so you can sleep well, and then we'll catch up with you the next day and try to get that information back to you as quickly as we can. But really, navigating the website is great, but it doesn't always get you exactly where you need to go. And we're happy to help you find that information.
I would also just mention one of the things when we were redeveloping the website that we tried to improve and develop out was our search feature. And so if you go to the website on any page, you can see the little magnifying glass. If you click on that and type in the item that you're looking for, it'll at least bring up some of the top items for that item, for that condition, that diagnosis. It might help you get things narrowed down if you're having trouble locating something.
That is great advice, both
Great
of you.
point.
So if anybody missed that, contact the Help Center. Also use the search function. Excellent. Jen, if there is a topic that really I can't find, but I think people might be interested in, do you have like a suggestion box? Can I make suggestions for topics that I might want to hear about?
We always welcome suggestions. Absolutely. And there isn't a suggestion box. So I would just recommend that you either call or email the PFF Help Center. My programs team and I are always looking for topics for webinars and support group meetings, and we love having input from the community. And it's really important to know for us what's top of mind with patients and caregivers. So we most definitely welcome that information. And also, if you do join one of our webinars and complete the post-webinar survey, our webinar surveys also offer you an opportunity to suggest topics for upcoming webinars. So that's another spot that you can provide us with a little feedback.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so this one's for Kelsey. So what do I do if I reached out to a site? I went through the clinical trial finder and I found a trial I was really interested in. I emailed the contact, but I didn't really hear anything back from them. What should I do?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. Some of these sites are getting a lot of communications and can be really burdened. And we find that sometimes it can be difficult to get in touch with them, or maybe the site contact isn't up to date or what have you. So definitely something that comes up. And we would suggest that your first step be to reach out to our new resource with CareBox, which is the Clinical Trial Navigator service. So earlier I did mention that, and I will repeat the phone number, and you can also fill out a form to get the contact from those navigators at trials.pulmonaryfibrosis.org, or you can call them directly at, I'm going to look off screen, 1-866-914 7346. And I believe the slides will also be available to everyone for download, so you'll have access to that as well. The phone number is also available on the trials website. And those trial navigators, they're specifically trained. It's their job is to get you connected to studies. It's all they do is to make sure that you can fill out the questionnaire, get the best results of studies that you can. And then once you have the studies that you're interested in, connecting you to those sites. That's all they're there for, and we want you to utilize them, and we hope that they will be of extreme benefit to everyone. And like Jen said, we also welcome comments, questions, any questions you have about that service, or if you have a great experience, we love to hear about it. If you have difficulty with it, obviously we also want to hear about it. So it is a new service, and we want you to use it and get the connections that we know you need to get involved.
Great, thank you. Okay, so should be a quick question. I know I'm super excited about Summit next year, and at least one person out there has asked a question about it, so somebody else is excited. Does either of you know when we can register for Summit a year from now?
Yeah, I can say that typically we like to open registration for Summit in about April. In April of the year that Summit will be taking place is usually when we open registration. Obviously, as Jen mentioned, if you're signed up for our newsletters, you're going to be the first to know. We always do a little preview and let you know when to, look out for when that's going to drop, and we'll send out an email the day that it's going to release as well. But typically we look around April to open that registration.
Great. I will be looking forward to that.
Yes.
Okay, so this is, we have just a couple of minutes left. I'm going to try and get in one, maybe two more questions. This one for Jen, and I think you could take this question two ways. Do you have any resources to help people with copays? And maybe I would answer that question, financial resources, or do you have maybe some educational resources to kind of, look to?
Yes, I do. And that's the short answer. So yes, every day in the Help Center, I receive calls from people who are looking for copay assistance. I did pull together a bunch of resources. I do have some organizations that provide assistance. Unfortunately, as many of you already know, our organization does not maintain copay assistance programs. But we have scoured the internet and the available resources to pull everything together for you. So anybody that would like access to that information, please contact the Help Center, and I'd be happy to send you that email. We also did a blog post earlier this year on the PFF Insights blog to provide that information. And there is a webinar in our webinar library that featured someone from one of the organizations that does provide assistance, talking a little bit about their program, as well as a coordinator from one of our PFF Care Center Network sites who helps patients access programs. And she did sort of a great overview of Medicare and how Medicare covers specialty drugs. So there's great information in that webinar as well. And that's in the PFF webinar library.
Excellent. All right. I got time for one more quick one. This one's for Kelsey. Can you please share the trial site address one more time so we have it?
Absolutely. It is trials, TRIALS, pulmonaryfibrosis.org.
Excellent. And so since you all have it, I will expect all of you to go and register on it now. I think that would be a great activity for to come out of this session. Thank you, Jen and Kelsey. I think we're out of time for any more questions. But this has been really informational. I hope everybody is learned a little something new about the resources and ways that the PFF can help members of our community. I do have one more announcement to make as we wrap up our session, and I would like to invite everyone to please join us back here in Theater 1 at 6:30 Central Time. That is 7:30 Eastern Time, where I am, out of the rest of you, for our all volunteer networking event. And we'll be breaking up into smaller Zoom rooms. That's a Zoom rooms where you'll get to meet and talk with other volunteers. And then tomorrow's morning sessions will start at 10:30 a.m. In this Theater 1 as well. So thank you all for being here with us. Thank you again, Jen and Kelsey. It's been a really great session, and we will see you at the networking event very shortly. Thanks, everyone.